If you are thinking about building a mobile application, or you have a company and want to take it to the next level by creating professional software, this video is for you. I will explain the complete process to create your app from start to finish. From the idea, going through development, all the way to monetization and publishing on both Android and iPhone, so you can decide if this is the right step for your business. The first step is defining your idea. What do you want to develop? Is it affordable and profitable? Do you have an investment, or are you starting from scratch? Do you know how to code or know anything about technology? Because the truth is, I've seen many people who want to create the next Uber, the next AI that competes with ChatGPT, or the next tech revolution. And beware, this is possible. I'm not saying it can't be done. But keep in mind that many of the apps or companies you admire had millions of dollars in investment right from the start. Without that capital, projects like those are nearly impossible. So, lacking capital is a common problem at the beginning, and we have to look at other options. Why does this matter? Because without investment, large projects are very difficult. You have to pay for servers, databases, cloud functions, and all of this scales up with every user you have. On the other hand, just making basic apps like notepads or reminders isn't very viable either. Yes, they work, but there are already too many of them. For your app to stand out, you need something more. That's where the title of this video comes in: How to Create a Professional App. A basic app might not be profitable, and a massive app might be too expensive. Based on this, do you have your idea ready? Is it viable? Have you done market research? What function will it serve, and what problem does it solve? Let me show you what we did in our company as an example. We are an accounting firm, and we thought of a simple app, an expense tracker. But we had to figure out how to make it stand out among the hundreds that already exist on the App Store and Google Play. We had the great idea to make the app recognize your expenses automatically and give you recommendations based on your income. You can create reports manually or automatically using artificial intelligence. It lets you download Excel or PDF reports, and users can even input transactions using their microphone, letting the AI recognize and log the data. With that, we had a winning idea that differentiated us from the rest. We decided the app would be downloadable and monetized through a freemium model. After having the idea clear, like the example I just showed you, we move on to the next question. How will it be developed, and what about the design? For the design, we can use tools like Figma. It's an excellent tool for creating the entire user interface and designing user interactions. You can create dark mode or light mode versions. It is focused on designers, but you can also use AI tools to help you out. You can use DALL-E 3 from OpenAI or Nano Banana from Gemini to generate assets. There are also new AI tools popping up that allow you to generate UI using prompts. For example, you can also use Stitch, which is from Google, for designs. You just use prompts and it generates a very attractive interface for your design, making it very easy if you don't want to dive deep into design yourself. Your app's design should be heavily based on your logo, because the logo dictates the branding you want to transmit. If your logo is blue, the app should feature blue tones. If it's red, the app should match that style. For the logo itself, you can use tools like Illustrator, which is paid from Adobe, or Inkscape, which is completely free and open source. If you don't want to design it yourself, I recommend platforms like Fiverr or Upwork to hire specialized designers for your logo and UI. It makes life easier, but you have to pay for it. If you have no budget, Canva is a free alternative, though the logos can look a bit generic, which might affect your app's presence in the stores. Now comes the most complex part: choosing how you are going to develop it. You have to decide if you want the app only for iPhone, only for Android, or both, because they traditionally use totally different programming languages. Let me explain your alternatives. Path 1 is native Android. You can develop in Java or Kotlin. If you don't know either, start with Kotlin. It's the industry standard today and pays better in the job market. I personally developed in Java for years, but with new technologies, I now choose other alternatives. Path 2 is native iPhone using Swift. Keep in mind that to develop an iOS app, you absolutely need a Mac. You can rent one in the cloud, but the best option is to own a MacBook or a Mac Mini. Also, uploading an app to Apple usually requires a bit more capital, which we will discuss later. The third path is multi-platform development. Personally, this is what I choose, because with one single code base, you build for both iPhone and Android. Here you have several technologies. For example, React Native, where you need to know JavaScript and React, or the one I use, Flutter. With Flutter, you write the code once using the Dart programming language and export it to both platforms. I love it for independent projects because it's a single, cohesive technology that's easy to learn. The fourth path involves the new no-code or low-code alternatives. I have used Flutterflow. It's very easy to use, but you still need some technical knowledge, like understanding APIs and how user authentication works. There are also completely no-code tools where you just drag and drop. While they are useful, keep in mind that no-code solutions are never as flexible as custom code. With code, you have absolute freedom to build exactly what you want. Now, for your backend and databases. If you need to save user info like names and ages, you can use Firebase and Firestore. A quick tip: don't ask for unnecessary user data. The less data you collect, the easier it is to get your app approved in the stores. If you need to integrate AI like we did, you must understand APIs. In short, an API is how your app talks to another system to send or receive information. If you want Google Maps, you use their API. If you want an AI model, you use the OpenAI API for ChatGPT or Google's API for Gemini. For things like logging in, you can use Firebase authentication. I highly recommend Firebase for everything running behind the scenes: authentication, databases, internal messaging. It's the easiest option. There are alternatives like AWS Amplify, but my advice is to stick with Firebase. Don't forget your app screenshots, the images that appear when someone goes to download your app. They are mandatory for the stores. You can easily create great-looking screenshots using Canva. Now, the part everyone waits for: monetization. How do you make money? There are three main ways. First, a free app with ads. You register on a platform like Google AdMob, and they handle the ads. You just integrate banners or video ads into your code. Second, a paid app. Users buy it once and they have it forever. But remember, you can't charge them again later. Third, which is what I chose, is the subscription model. You restrict premium content and users pay a recurring fee to access it, while free users see ads. When everything is ready, create a test environment. Have a specific group of people test your app before publishing it to the public. Fix any critical errors so you don't get bad reviews on day one. Once tested, it's time to upload. You'll need a title and a description. I highly recommend learning about App Store optimization, or ASO. It's like SEO, but for app stores, helping people find your app when they search. Also, the stores will ask for your data privacy policies. Answer honestly. If you lie, Apple or Google will ban your app. Finally, let's talk about costs. Publishing on the Apple App Store costs $99 per year. For Android, it's a one-time payment of $25. Keep that yearly Apple fee in mind if your app isn't monetized yet. If you use AI, you have to pay for that too. Models like ChatGPT or Gemini charge per token, meaning you pay based on usage. You can check the exact prices on their websites. Databases and server functions also have costs, but the great thing about Firebase is that it has a generous free tier. You won't pay anything until your app gets a lot of users and takes up significant space. Once the app is published, you just have to monitor your metrics and ensure everything is working as expected. And with that, you will have built a 100% professional app. I invite you to try out the AI Money app we built. The link is in the description and the pinned comment. It could be very useful for your personal finances. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.